last week, remember, I was covering Iran, and the big thing that happened towards the end of last week is we were this close to a new deal. Now, the deals keep falling through, and we've been very honest about that, and the round and round we go. But I will say they were starting to give a little more. So it looked like things are getting closer. Even Newt Gingrich, the old neocon, establishment Republican, behind the scenes leader of much of the Republican Party, is even he came out with a post and said Trump is on the verge of a historic victory. He said he started to look at it in a new light and blah, blah, blah. I covered all that. Which is exactly what I've been saying this whole time. Of course, the talks fell through again. Hey, it keeps happening because we are dealing with the IRGC. The IRGC is City of London funded. This is, if you've been following my show, I don't have time to go into it all right now again because I've done hours and hours and hours of content on this. If you've been following my show, you understand that Iran is the keystone to so much of what Trump wants to do geopolitically. It's going to significantly set back City of London. It changes our whole relationship with China and really impacts the sovereignty of our nation and the free flow of oil markets. So much stuff. Okay. But IRGC is the bad guys here. They are the real bad guys, and they are the ones who don't care about the people. They're the ones directly impacted by City of London, and they do not give up control. And that's what we keep running into. There's been this battle between the leadership that is they don't have the military. They don't have anything to back them up. So they keep trying to make something happen because they can see their country is collapsing, but the IRGC keeps putting down their foot. So this weekend, we started to see what I think is going to be the beginning of heading into a kinetic war again. This weekend, here's a quick report on what started happening this weekend.
Targets over the weekend. According to Central Command, we understand these strikes went after Iranian radar systems and command and control sites for drones in Gurak, Iran, along the coast and on Keshem Island. CENTCOM described the action as defensive in nature to prevent Iran from attacking international shipping lanes and after Iran shot down a $4 million U.S. drone. The Iranians responded by targeting Kuwait with drones and missiles early this morning. Overnight, President Trump posted to Truth Social saying, in part, Iran really wants to make a deal, and it will be a good one for the USA and those that are with us. Iran's parliament speaker and top negotiator Mohammad Khalibaf said this on Sunday about the ongoing talks.
What matters to us are the tangible achievements we must obtain in order to undertake our own commitments in return. And until we are certain that we have secured the rights of the Iranian nation, we will not approve any agreement.
New this morning, Iran's foreign minister trying to attach the possible deal with the United States to the situation in Lebanon. He said on X, the ceasefire between Iran and the U.S. is unequivocally a ceasefire on all fronts, including in Lebanon. Its violation on one front is a violation of the ceasefire on all fronts. The U.S. and Israel are responsible for the consequences of any violation. Over the weekend, Hezbollah launched more than 50 rockets into northern Israel as Israeli ground forces push deeper into southern Lebanon.
All right, so Iran came out, made this excuse about the Hezbollah, their forces being attacked in Lebanon by Israel. This is non-negotiable. So they started launching attacks again, and the U.S. intercepted them all. By the way, did you guys know that over hundreds of missiles have been fired upon the USS Abraham Lincoln, and not one is hit? Hundreds over the last 3 months, and not one is hit. They have, it's their Timu weapons that we were told by Scott Ritter and all these people they had these amazing weapons, and Alex Jones was having them all on. Oh, wait till Iran unleashes what it's got. They don't have anything that can touch us. And this is one of the reasons why I do believe there is some buckling, because they just can't get us. Well, this weekend, more strikes happened. We intercepted them. We started striking back a little bit. And now they're saying, well, because of this Israel-Lebanon thing, we're out. Which Iran is playing us because of our media. All right. And so I want to take this to Trump's Truth Social last night. So Trump says this: Iran really wants to make a deal. It will be a good one for the U.S. and those are with us. But don't the Democrats and various seemingly unpatriotic Republicans understand it's much tougher for me to properly do my job and negotiate when political hacks keep negatively chirping at levels never seen before over and over again? I should move faster, move slower, go to war, not go to war, whatever. Sit back and relax. It'll all work out. In the end, it always does. Now, I completely believe this last part. I continue to believe the Trump administration has all this in hand, and what they're waiting to do and they're trying to do is give Iran an out, because they don't want to hurt the civilian people. And when Trump says Iran wants to make a deal, what he's talking about, he's not talking about the IRGC. In fact, I don't believe Trump or anybody in the administration considers the IRGC as Iran. They're talking about the people and whatever leaders they have there that are willing to try to make something happen, because they're terrified it's all about to fall apart. It's not all lies, everything, guys. Okay, the round and round we go. What we're seeing is Iran is co-opted by multiple leaders. They have the IRGC that really controls stuff with this iron fist, but they also have this weird system where they have other leaders as well who are democratically elected, which isn't true. And then they have the Ayatollah structure. So they basically have three things. They have the supreme leader, who he's completely beholden to the IRGC, but he's, a figurehead. And then they have this presidential guy who is called, quote unquote, a moderate. Now, are they really moderates? No, but they're moderate in the sense that they're not suicidal. They're not suicidal to the same degree as the IRGC and the Ayatollah structure. And so when Trump's talking about deals, these people, by all accounts, have been reaching out to him saying, like, we are trying to make something happen. But then the IRGC keeps coming in. And what they're pushing here is stuff like this, where we're getting reports that Iran's president submitted his letter of resignation. Now, there's also countervailing messages here that say this hasn't happened. We don't know. This is all going on. This is one of those where you wait a couple days. This is like a couple months ago when everybody was saying, like, Netanyahu's dead. That worked out really well for those guys, huh? But this is one of those things. Do we know? No, but sometimes where there's smoke, there's fire. And this would make sense that they're forcing this guy down, because he seems to be the only one, along with his group, that keeps trying to make something happen. But what we're seeing is, again and again, the IRGC, no matter what happens, they keep doubling down. And Trump, I think it's coming to the point where we're no longer going to be able to keep this dance going. From CENTCOM last night, 11 p.m., U.S. forces successfully intercepted 2 Iranian ballistic missiles targeting American forces in Kuwait. These missiles were immediately defeated and no American personnel were harmed. U.S. CENTCOM remains vigilant and will continue to protect our forces from Iranian aggression while supporting the ongoing ceasefire. Now, in what other case would this ever be considered something where we just don't go bombing right away? All right? Think about that. Even Trump, if we were attacked, he's launched attacks. This has always been the way we've done it. We don't abide by this. But Trump, instead of just using this as an excuse to go all out war, even though our base is being attacked, is still trying to moderate everybody. That's not cowardice, guys. And that's the narrative that's going to be put out there. There's a couple narratives we're going to start getting. We've already seen them a little bit. One of them is that Trump's a coward and he just doesn't want to see this through. That's the neocon argument. That's what they all want you to believe, because if it was up to them, they would send 100,000 troops in right now. They would bomb them, we'd get troops in, and they're looking at another 15 to 20 years stuck. That's what the neocons want. The neocons are wanting to gear up the war machine. And, of course, City of London wants that as well. So that's that narrative. And Trump is trying to hold that off, as well as fix the Iran situation. The other narrative coming out right now is, Israel's getting us stuck again, which this is where Iran is looking at our media. They're looking at what the Democrats are saying, what all the podcasters are saying, thinking that they're going to divide MAGA, which is the City of London playbook. They're looking at all that and saying, oh, Israel bombing Hezbollah. They're not bombing Lebanon. Hezbollah is just in Lebanon. So let's make this clear. They're bombing Hezbollah, who's been bombing them. And anybody weeping for Hezbollah, I don't know what to say to you. You're on the wrong side of history right there. All right. And so but that's the other narrative. Oh, that Trump was about to get out. Iran's actually sensible, but Israel. Now, anybody who, like, I don't care what you think about Israel, but if you actually think Israel is crazier than Iran, you might have a screw loose. There's something wrong in your brain. That if you think Iran is the measurable, patient, good, moderate people here compared to Israel, again, whatever you think about Israel, Iran's way worse. I don't care. It's just, those are just facts. But that's the narratives they're trying to push, because they're trying to distract us from what's really going on here. Trump is dealing with this keystone. The City of London is going to protect at all costs, which is what we're seeing right now. He's trying to deal with that while balancing things politically, and all the different fronts are coming in. It's the narratives, which he talks about right here. It's the neocons, it's City of London, and it's what he's dealing with on Iran. And he's juggling all that at once. And if any of you guys think he could do better, that's funny, because we also don't have all the information that he has that everybody else is working with. But when Trump says this, it will work out well in the end. He said that to us so many times. It's been 3 months for everybody saying this is another boondoggle, another quagmire. 3 months is nothing. It's nothing for any kind of military strike, any kind of war. It's nothing. And remember, this isn't like we're seeing people dying every day. We're not going in, no boots on the ground. This war for the last 2 months has been a war of negotiation, of strategy. And who's going to win in the end? Well, we have the weapons. We have the economy. The entire world right now, economy is struggling. And our economy, despite gas prices, is holding up well and improving despite all this. This is just facts. We are in the driver's seat. And what Trump did again this weekend is they presented this deal, this 60 days memorandum of understanding, where we would give them time to negotiate, but meanwhile the strait would be opened up. We deal with nukes first. It was kind of like, and Trump, after analyzing it, decided it was all fake. It just wasn't going to do anything. And giving up the blockade on the Strait of Hormuz wouldn't be in our best interest. So the patient man wins in these situations, guys. I hope you understand that. Throughout history, that's what's been proven. The patient man wins, especially when you have all the leverage. Well, then today we got this just this morning. Iran has announced it's ending all negotiations with the U.S. and vows to completely block the Strait of Hormuz, per CNBC. Iran says it's ending negotiations due to repeated ceasefire violations, including Israeli strikes. There's the narrative they're pushing to get the Israel thing out there. And now they're saying they're going to block these straits. Well, we'll see how that ends for them. But that's where we're heading next. And to me, it looks like if this really pushes and they keep bombing, they keep attacking, then the next is escalation. And they're about to FAFO. But don't be surprised if right as this starts to ramp up, we get an ace in the hole played, an ace up your sleeve from Trump or somebody else. Do not be surprised. But watching this carefully, this is where we're at now. And listen, nothing for me has changed as far as how I see this going. We still have all the leverage. Their economy is cracking. Their military is a joke compared to what we have. And everybody else is under way more pressure than we are. The people are starting to rise up over there, as we got recently from their internet being lifted and the reports coming out. So it's all lining up for us to still win this in 3 different ways and without any loss. There's one loss that they could achieve from this, and that is keep oil prices high. which hurts Trump in the midterms. But that is their only leverage. And we still have 4 months till the midterms. 5 months. We still have 5 months till the midterms. So if you think the time is ticking, if you think the problem is here, people have been saying, oh, Trump missed his window. This had to be over in May for oil prices to go down. Really? Just on news last week that negotiations were improving. Oil went down. Gas prices went down 10% in a week. They went down 20% over the full course of May. And that's without it being over. Just wait. When it's over, oil prices will plummet. We got back in the 80s last week for a short period of time. It's not going to take long to correct. So don't buy all the nonsense from the media. Here's the real truth. You want to know the real truth, guys? No one knows what's actually going on behind the scenes in this. And everything being reported is a lie. The only thing we know is the absolutes that come out and are undeniable. Iran making this announcement, Trump making his announcements, that's the only thing we know for certain. Everything else, it's all a game. It's all a game. And so right now what we're doing is we're betting on one or the other, but Trump is telling us, don't listen to the Democrats and the seemingly unpatriotic Republicans, neocons. And I'd add Podcastistan. None of them know what they're talking about. And if you're getting tired because it's been 3 months and you're wearing out and you're starting to trust Tucker Carlson or Alex Jones now because of this, or Megyn Kelly, those are the exact same people who said in March that Iran had the super duper secret hypersonic missiles that they were going to unleash on us and it was all going to be terrible. That's what they were saying back in March. Can any one of you tell me one thing they reported back in March when Trump first launched this that's turned out to be true? I can't think of anything. So you can go back and trust them, or you can trust that this could end well for us. Remember, this one was never going to be easy. There's a reason Trump went in when he did and why he took the risk before the midterms. This is the one place City of London is desperate not to lose. And it's not going to go down easy, but I still trust this guy who is so far not shown any concern. He feels like he's got it well in hand. And so I'm going to trust his words because his body language tells me the same thing. It'll get there, and we'll keep covering it.